change the world. Thank you.
Bill Bigler. The first time I met Dennis Moore was at the Holt Tea Party Convention in June 2009. Dennis was the organizer of the event. It was a stimulating conference with hundreds of people in attendance. I made several valuable contacts but lost touch with Dennis. Shortly thereafter, I started the Ann Arbor Patriots. It wasn't too long after that I started hearing good things about folks over in Ypsi who didn't start their meetings until 9 p.m. on Friday night. That was pretty close to my bedtime, but one Friday night I dragged myself over to see what was going on, and the rest is history. The Willow Run Tea Party Caucus meets every Friday night, come rain or shine. We meet at the Big Sky Diner on Ecorse Road. It's not the high rent district, and the accommodation is less than perfect. But the food is good and reasonably priced. But what keeps us going back is the owner, Tony. He's an immigrant, one of those special legal ones, and he knows how precious our country is. Once he learned that our mission was to save our country and restore our liberties, he has done everything he could to make his restaurant our home. He tells Dennis in his broken English, Dennis, don't let happen here what happened in my country. Sometimes Tony has a customer who doesn't share our political views and complains, but Tony remains true to us even if he loses business. He serves as a constant reminder to us of what we are trying to achieve and inspires us to match his patriotism and commitment. Tony's shining example is more than equaled by the heart and soul of the Willow Run Tea Party Caucus, Dennis Moore. Dennis constantly strives to get the very best speakers and guests and press that he can for our meetings. Nothing makes him prouder than national headlines for our liberators. He tirelessly gives us his time, energy, and resources and fusses over us like a mother hen. Woe be unto him who slights or slanders the Willow Run Tea Party Caucus. The wrath of Dennis descends upon him with the fury of a mother grizzly protecting her cubs. We also draw motivation from the surrounding community as well. Our meetings are held within earshot of the Ford plant, which proudly produced the Liberator bomber during World War II. Now that plant is closed, as are so many of the businesses around Tony's Diner. This fact is not lost on the union workers who have lost their jobs and have seen the devastation caused by the failed policies of those who promised to take care of them. We have a number of such members within our caucus. In fact, we have taken the name of Liberators for our own in honor of those workers and their product. We hope that we can, through our hard work, as they did through theirs, help to save this country once again. It is truly remarkable to witness week in and week out the dedication and passion with which our caucus members embrace the topics presented to them. Some current areas of interest are the Federal Reserve and the transfer of military technology from the University of Michigan to China, Project Watchdog, presidential nomination by convention rather than primary, and involvement in local ballot issues and candidate campaigns for May elections. Almost every week we have a speaker or a candidate who wishes to address us. Last night, Terry Bowman was with us informing us about Union Conservatives. We welcome all speakers and candidates and only ask that they allow us to question them after they speak, and question them they do. We have our regular guests as well. Even though our meetings are stimulating, we do much more than meet. We are pleased to be bringing our Tea Party principles of constitutional, limited, and fiscally responsible government to the GOP. We have been active in recruiting and becoming precinct delegates, Many of our members have attended the state conventions and helped nominate candidates such as Bill Sudi, Ruth Johnson, Mary Beth Kelly, and Bob Young. We also have elected many of our members to county, district, and state committee. We also participate in campaigns and other venues, and many of us gave our all for our wonderful Rob Steele, who ran against John Dingell, and for other worthy candidates, such as the ones who helped nominate, that we helped to nominate. We have also circulated our flyer about the Willow Run Tea Party Caucus if you'd like more information. And
am I going to have to grab that microphone?
Probably. And you're welcome to join us online or to talk to Dennis and me about more information. Thank you.
Folks, if you have cards there on your table, we will be taking questions. So if you want to bring them up here to Dennis, just go ahead and write them out and wave your hand. We'll have somebody pick them up and bring them in for us. What I would like to just conclude with is how many folks in this room are members of a Tea Party organization? How many people are actually in a group right now? For those of you who are not in a group, I would highly recommend that you find one in your area and become an active member and become more involved in this movement. And let me tell you why. Until I was 50 years old, I had never done anything in my life except voted. We had a business to run, had a family to raise, grandchildren came along, and that's all I did, is I worked and voted. And I heard a person speak who was a presidential candidate back in 2008, and he shared a story with the room that I want to share with you real quick. He had taken his family to Israel, and in their sightseeing process had wanted to go to the Holocaust Museum. As they started into the Holocaust Museum, they saw pictures of what happened to the Jews. And the pictures were very, very graphic. And as the family meandered through the museum and saw different pictures and displays there was a quiet hush over the entire room, over the entire museum. They got to the end of the exhibit, and this man picked up the pen and signed the register book. Put his name, where he was from, set the pen down. His 9-year-old daughter, who had been holding his hand tightly throughout the whole day, picked up the pen. And she wrote these words in that book. Why didn't somebody do something? When I heard this story, right then and there, I decided that our country is heading down the same road, not in the same way, but in a different way. Our extinction has been coming, and I decided right then and there I was going to do something about it. I challenge all of you in this room that did not raise your hand, do something. We have to do it for our kids. We have to do it for our grandkids. If it's not us, then who's going to do it? If it's not now, when are we going to do it? This country is headed towards socialism, big government, and bankruptcy. I, for one, I'm not going to stand for it. If I have to die to protect this country and our liberties, I'm willing to do it. Because I have 10 grandchildren. And I am not going to allow them to get a country worse than what my grandparents gave to us. Here's the challenge. If you're in a group, or you're not in a group, join a group. If you had a group, double your size. Make that your mission statement right here and now today. You will double the size of your group. If you are passionate and you want to convey that, get up, stand up, and speak out. We will not be the silent majority any longer. We are going to take our state back, and we are going to take our country back, and it starts here today. Thank you.
Okay, folks, we're going to do question and answers now. We're going to limit our answers, about 1 minute answers. As we found out, we kind of restricted our 5 minutes to 4 minutes after Tina, and it was a good thing to do because we're running out of time. So let me put my glasses on. I think we ended in 15, 17 minutes. So what we'll do is ask questions and each person can answer with 1 minute response. How can we increase minority participation in the Tea Party cause? Okay, let's start over here, Ed.
Well, it's not too much of a problem for us because of geographic location. We meet in St. Clair Shores. Detroit's approximately 2 miles south of us. We brought in speakers like Reverend Ewell from Joshua's Trail, and he brought in some people and gave us exposure. So that's the technique that we've used.
That is something that we ourselves, I'd be interested in hearing the answer to, because it's a very difficult question. We do have some minorities in our group, but they're actually very shy to even show up at events we do, and I think it's not because they're afraid of persecution from dead white guy type people, but persecution from their own people maybe, and it's very difficult. So if anybody has a great idea, I'd love to hear it.
I think one of the best ways is to first, get out in our communities, but keep your message simple. Don't try and bring to the attention of minority communities, very controversial, complicated messages. They understand the economics of life. They understand when jobs are going away. They understand when times are getting tough. And by intelligently communicating a free market approach to these issues and sticking to community issues, then you can really have a lot of success there. And I think that's a big key, is to make sure that you communicate a message of liberty and a message of freedom, and that is appealing, and they will respond to that.
In the 2008 campaign cycle, I was not necessarily for John McCain, but I was very much against Barack Obama. So I went door to door to homes that lined main streets and asked if I could put John McCain, Sarah Palin yard signs up on their property. And I knocked on the door of a couple of people, and when the door opened, it was black people. And I said, oh my God, what do I do now? Well, I said, you know what, I give my message. And so I said to them why I felt they should support John McCain. And as we talked, our goals, our thoughts, our wishes, our desires were exactly the same. Very pro-family, very pro-conservative. And I said, well, why are you going to vote for a Democrat? They had to. I mean, there was no choice about it. But at that point, I realized that if we could reach 10% of the black community, we could hold conservative values forever in this country. And that was the original impetus for Joshua's Trailblazers. And quite frankly, I think that the use of Joshua's Trail program, live streamed on www.wdtkam.com, is a way to get black people, because they'll listen to Joshua's Trail, they won't listen to me or you.
Well, we love Joshua's Trail, and we love Reverend Ewell, and we're encouraging him all the time to get involved with us and to get his people involved with us. I think I think it's important